obviously it's been a while since I've spoken to you, so I may wander over areas that have already been covered in the last couple of weeks. But just talk about the mood in the camp. What's it like? How's it going?
Yeah, really positive. I think the guys are in a really good place physically. We've had a tough run of games, obviously on Friday and Saturday, 2 games, which we knew would be tough. Haven't got the depth in the squad at the minute that we'd quite like, so we had to field a lot of young guys and some trialists, etc., which make them even tougher for the boys. But I've been really pleased with the approach, the mentality, the intensity. They've attacked everything during pre-season so far, and the bits that we've seen, the improvements we've seen every game on game now with the work that we've been doing. So I expect that to continue to be the case. But you know, they would set these challenges for a reason, to get us physically in better shape for the start of the season, and also mentally to see where they need to get to and what they should be aspiring to. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I think everyone feels really positive after Coventry, especially on Saturday, especially the second half, the way the guys went about it. So yeah, all in all, it's been really positive. Got some good new players in. We'll have a couple more in this week. So yeah, really pleased with where we're at and where we're going. Still loads of work to do, loads of improvement to make, but I'm happy with the progress so far.
One of the things in football at any level, whether you're having a career out with your mates or at the highest level of football, is that it's the closeness, it's the togetherness of a team, the bonding. How has what's happened this year and the changes? How's that affected that with the team? There is a closeness with the team in the changing room. When you're going to a away game, all that kind of stuff. Is that different now?
I think, yeah, I think it's. I think we were really generating that and building that before lockdown and everything that's happened. We stayed in touch as much as possible without being overbearing during that period. But I think what it's made everyone really grateful and put into perspective a lot of things, which helps. So I think they're really appreciative that they're back playing football with their mates, doing a job that they love, especially while there's so much struggle and negative news coming in all the time about jobs, about the virus and all this stuff. So I think it's made people a lot more grateful, and our players are grateful to be back. I think it's not been normal for us because we're still not back at the stadium every day. They have to still turn up to training in their kit and leave. So we're not eating together. We're not doing any of that. So we're trying to harness as much togetherness in training as possible. But we've got a brilliant group of players in terms of character, in terms of personality, which has only been added to and strengthened over this last few weeks. And they're all desperate to prove a point after last year. They're all really desperate and really believe and buy into what we're doing, which creates, naturally, organically, whatever you want to call it, creates a togetherness and a clarity in what they're doing and a belief in what they're doing. So, yeah, I think that will continue to grow, especially once we get back into the stadium, get our fans back watching games. And I've said it all along, it's not going to happen on the first game on the 5th of September. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And we've got to make sure that we keep working and get together and keep improving all the time, which is what it's about. And the guys know that, they're aware of that, they're aware of the demands, and they're really together in trying to achieve what we want to. So, yeah, I'm really pleased where it's at, considering the circumstances that we've had to try and generate in.
And the new players settling in nicely, and that's another issue, I guess, when it comes to what the distance it has to be, because when new players come in, you want them to be close to the team. You want them to interact as much as possible. I suppose that's one of the small difficulties, isn't it, with new players coming in?
Yeah, I think if you look at a normal pre-season, we were due to go away for a week, where the lads live in each other's pockets for 24 hours a day. They'd get to learn a bit more, much quicker about their new teammates, about them as people, about them as players. So, yeah, that would have obviously been a lot easier for us to harness and for them to integrate into the squad. But what I would say is, obviously, a couple of the guys have returned, in Carlton and Louis, so they've gone straight back into assuming their roles as real leaders in the group. Danny Harvey's come in like he's been here forever. Just got on with it, adjusted really well. And I think a lot of that is down to the process of researching what kind of people we're bringing into the building. And with Danny, that was a long process of watching him, researching what character he is, speaking to a lot of coaches he's worked with, speaking to teammates, speaking to players he's played against. So all of that work needs to be put into every player we bring in to make sure that we're only bringing in a character that we think will fit into the group and will be right for the group. And so far, Danny has certainly done that. And obviously with Keezy, with Richard, that was a no-brainer. We knew what he would bring. And and he's so hungry to be back and so hungry to do well, and he'll be incredible for our players in terms of his leadership within the group and his commitment to what we're trying to do and belief in it, which is why he signed. So he signed because he wants to come and try and play a certain style of football that he really believes in and wants to enjoy for however long he's got left in his career, which I hope will be a good few years with us. So I'm really pleased with what we've done in terms of the character and them integrating into the squad. Because the characters out, it hasn't been a problem. Obviously, it would have been much easier if we had gotten to go away and had a full pre-season here at the stadium. But no issues. They've been brilliant, and now keep growing with us.
And I presume the fixtures are going to come thick and fast. I mean, the first week I think it's Coventry, Northampton, then Doncaster. I think the first week of the season with the Carabao Cup and the EFL Trophy. And the fixtures will potentially come thick and fast with the way things are panning out. Does that mean training changes slightly certainly in the initial stage when the fixtures are very heavy, where it is very thick with a lot of fixtures, that training will be slightly less because you're playing a lot of matches?
Yeah, I think we need to make sure we get the right balance between loading them physically, getting enough tactically on the tactical work on the training pitch, also keeping them mentally fresh, which is really important and often overlooked. So yeah, we're going to have to manage that. We've already planned the programme for September, depending on what fixtures we get, how far we get in the Carabao Cup, etc. And October's planned as well, but we have to be flexible with that approach. We have to be adaptable. We haven't got a huge squad at the minute, so we need a few more bodies in to help us. And once we do, we're going to have to manage that squad really effectively and really wisely to make sure people are fresh. And I said it to the guys already, I don't think many players are going to play 46 games this season because it's so compact. It's such a unique season after what they've been through the last however long. So we're going to need everyone in the squad, which is why it's so important to make sure that everyone who is in the squad is ready to play at any point. So we're going to have to manage that. We have to make sure the recovery time and the work time is balanced. So it's up to us to make sure we utilise every minute then effectively, whether that's through video rather than the training pitch, whether it's through meetings, whether it's through one-to-ones, whether it's through the team meeting themselves. So yeah, all of that we've discussed, we're constantly looking at. And as I always say to you guys, the process to me is the most important part. It's what we really focus on. And if we get that right, then the outcome will be positive more often than not.
That's great for me. Thank you very much.
Ross, you said you'd like a couple more in this week. You mentioned on Saturday that you would be welcoming back a couple of players. Are we likely? Am I reading too much into it, thinking that it might be Joe Mason and Callum Britton?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. No, I think with Callum and Joe, we'll have some news in the next 24 hours. So yeah, all being well, we'll hopefully see them back in the squad and back with us, because they're both excellent players, excellent characters, and people I've really enjoyed working with. So hopefully we'll have some positive news on them in the next 24 hours.
You've obviously worked hard on filling the defence up. A lot of your signings have come in that back line. Do you think with the signing of Callum that it would be complete now?
Yeah, I think with Warren obviously coming in as well, and if Callum comes back, when Callum comes back, yeah, I think we'll be done in that area. We look really competitive now. It looks a lot stronger than it did before we made those signings. So, and obviously Richard coming in as well. So yeah, we'll be done. I certainly don't want to play again, so we have to be done there. So yeah, no, I'm confident we've got the players in the right blend that we need there, and we've got enough cover and depth and loads of experience and strength. And then we've got other people, Louis Thompson, who's done it in the last couple, who can play there, can play anywhere really. He's come back in incredible shape. So yeah, I'm happy with our options there now. So just a couple of positions for us to really focus on moving forward, and then we can look to be ready for the season.
We've seen a couple of somewhat surprising outgoings from your squad. Are we expecting any more out?
I think we can never say never. I think the window goes on for a long time. I think there's obviously one or two that will be fairly obvious that they might not play so much if they end up staying here. So they'll look to they'll be looking for opportunities to play elsewhere. So we have to be open to that. And I think we're like anyone after the situation we've been in with the virus, and we're in a fortunate position. The club's got such a strong structure and a chairman and an owner who believes in everything we're doing, who doesn't. We're not in a position where we need to sell to do anything, but I think everyone in this current period in football has a price and is available. So I want to say that because I don't want to set anyone up for any surprise or anything, because if one of our players, someone comes in like they did with Alex, with a valuation we deem fair, then we have to be ready for that. So, and it's our job to make sure we've got succession plan in place to replace anyone if they leave at any point. So that's football, that's life. It becomes even more apparent after everything we've been through. But we're ready. I'm relaxed about it. I think the owner's relaxed about it. So we'll have to wait and see what comes. So I'll never say never, but hopefully, we will try and remain and hold on to all of our best players. But ultimately, if something comes in that works for us as a club and we can build moving forward with, then that's what happens. So we'll have to wait and see.
What's the latest with Ryan Harley? I mean, we obviously saw he was a big part of your backroom staff last season, but we've not seen him so far this season. Are you planning on bringing him back?
I think, I'd love to. I think, again, I have to appreciate that the situation has changed since last year. Whether, as I just said to you there about, in terms of if we don't need to see anyone, but if we end up doing so, the situation's changed for most businesses in the world, let alone in football. So I have to respect that. The chairman knows I'd love to have Ryan back at some point. Ryan knows that, and Ryan would love to be in here now. I'd have loved him to be here from day one. But I also have to accept that for us to be as strong as we possibly can on the pitch, that at the moment we just can't do that. So the chairman knows. He knows the importance of having another member of staff and what Ryan brought, and he's really grateful for what Ryan brought us last year, as we all are, because he cut short his playing to help out and focus solely on the coaching stuff. And Ryan's situation isn't easy because he's a single dad, lives a long way away. So we'll try and work it out, and unfortunately at the minute it hasn't quite happened. Hopefully further down the line it will, but for the minute it will just be us guys, and we're going to have to dig in and make sure we work extra hard. And then if at some point we're in a position to bring Ryan back, then I'll be really happy about that. With
the transfer market working the way it does, with deals going on up and down the country all the time, is it ever hard to keep up with what's going on and keep track of your targets and all that sort of stuff?
Well, fortunately we've got Liam Sweeting, the head of recruitment, who's doing a brilliant job of that. So in constant contact, he's here every day keeping me updated on stuff on the phone. He watches our training at the moment whilst he can't go and watch any other games. That really helps him get clarity on what we're doing and what we're looking to do. So I think the relationship we built up over the past 6 months has become one of real clarity, real confidence in each other and what we want. He knows what I expect, what we want as a group of staff, and we're confident that he can deliver us people that we feel are right for us. So the process has been great. It's been really thorough, really detailed. He's great at that in terms of delivering us not just subjective opinion but all the objective stuff as well. So I've really been really pleased with that process, and I hope that will continue. And he keeps me abreast with everything that's going on. And also before it happens most of the time, which is important. So I end up speaking to agents a little bit more than I'd want to, and he's probably the same. But it's just because of the nature of it at the minute, and there's so many players available. There's so much. Well, there's probably less business done at this point than any other year because teams want to know where they're at financially and what's going on and the amount of players that are out there. So no one wants to miss out. So we're well on top of things, and we've just got to make sure. As I said to the guys on Saturday, we've missed out on one target so far, and that's because they went to Championship. Everyone else is still in place for us to get our top targets, which would be an incredible window, really. So we're really pleased with what we've done so far, and hopefully that will continue.
In terms of the injury front, we haven't seen, certainly on Saturday, didn't see Daniel Harvey, George Williams, Reece Healy or Kieran Agar. What's the situation with them at the moment? Yeah,
so George is frustrating to come back in incredible shape, and just unfortunately picked up a calf injury. He got to a really good place for it again on Friday, and then just felt it a little bit again. So we just have to be patient. I've told him, he's desperate to get back, but it's a long old season. It's not. I'd rather he looked after himself now and was available to us rather than trying to rush it and get back. So we've got an incredible physio department here, medical department, sports science, that will get these guys back and ready. Reece is the same. So he felt his calf after Stevenage. He actually felt it before but didn't tell anyone, which is frustrating, but typical Reece, thought he could jog it off and play it off. But so he's He's now tweaked it a little bit, but he's fine. It's just a slight muscle. I didn't want to risk it for 2 games over 2 days when he felt something, but it's nothing to worry about. Hopefully he'll be involved towards the back end of this week. We just got to manage these people because it's been a tough pre-season and we don't want them being injured moving forward. So he'll hopefully be back towards the end of the week. We'll have to wait and see. And then Kagsy's a really unfortunate one. He took a whack in training and has had a scan in his knee and doesn't need an operation or anything, but he's going to take a little while now to get back to fitness, which is really unfortunate to him because he was getting into a good place. And I think that's it for the injuries, isn't it? Is it them? Oh, Danny Harvey. Danny Harvey's just faced an increase in tempo in the speed of training, and then played a lot of minutes and covers the most distance most days in training. So he just needed a bit of a rest. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine this week. So yeah, all in all, it's okay. It's nothing too major. Kieran's probably the one out of all of those that will be out for a little bit longer. But again, hopefully he'll get back fit and get himself fit and ready, and we'll see where it's at.
You've already waxed lyrical about Danny Harvey previously when you were speaking to Luke. How good a player is he going to be?
I think he's got potential to be a really top player. I think we need to be patient with him. I think there's going to be ups and downs and dips and all that comes with someone who's coming from who's going to experience a big step up in level and intensity, I think, and he's experienced that already in training, but he's shown he's more than up for that and more than ready for that. But he's a young guy, we have to be patient, so I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but I'm really excited about Danny. All the staff are. I think the biggest thing for anyone coming into pre-season is how they're going to be judged by their fellow players, by their peers. And straight away the guys, said he's a good player, and they've accepted him into the group straight away because they can see what he's about. And mentality-wise, he's exactly what we're looking for. He's young, he's hungry, he's aggressive, he's intense. As I said, he covers the most distance every day in training. So I think at times it's going to be managing Danny and making sure he's not doing too much. But he's desperate to impress, and hopefully we'll have a really, really good player on our hands that we can develop and keep improving.
And as a result of his performances, Dean Lewington mentioned it on Saturday that he's more likely to be shifted inside. How did that conversation go with him? Yeah,
it sounds a bit sinister that they are just shifting Dino, but it's it's something I plan for Dino anyway. I think with the system we're looking at playing, I think it suits him better. I really believe in the way we're doing things with the structure we've got. Dino could probably play most positions for us because he's such an excellent footballer. He's a much better footballer than people give him credit for. He's a much better footballer than I thought he was when I came to the club. And he's shown in the last 3 weeks, for a guy that's only ever played there 3 or 4 times, he's been probably our best performer in pre-season so far. So assured, so comfortable, the fastest learner we've got, takes every bit of information on board, brilliant with the young players, believes completely in what we're doing, knows he can't play every single game because he's 36 years old and we play with a real intensity, but he's going to be a big player for us again, and he's an important part of it. And Dino is adaptable, he's flexible. It's no coincidence he's played 800 plus games for this football club because of how he is. So he's thriving in the role. I think he's been excellent, and I think he'll keep learning, he'll keep improving, and he gives us real competition. He could play anywhere along that back line now. So I think it's a different role what we're asking Danny to do than if I put Dino out there, he could probably do it, as I said, but I don't think it would suit him anywhere near as well. So I'm really pleased with Dino. He's come back in great shape, and he's getting in better shape every day. So he's been a real plus for us over pre-season so far.
Nice one, thanks, mate.
No probs.
Russ, last Friday you brought in the young Brighton defender O'Hora. What was it that you liked about him? What does he bring to this team?
So what do I like about him? I watched him a couple of times for Brighton under-23s last year, and really liked him in those games. Just stood out as a man amongst a lot of younger players. Spoke to Andy Crofts about him, Gordon Greer, who both work for Brighton, both ex-teammates of mine, whose opinion and I really respect and value and trust. And they've both said since January, give me updates, reports about, but most importantly, what he is as a character, how much of a leader he is amongst his young teammates, how professional he is, his work rate, his attitude to improve. And he was on the list for a lot of clubs at our level, so I'm really pleased that Brighton saw us as the right fit for Warren, and he was desperate to come here again. So after speaking to Andy and Gordon, people like that, about working with me and the team we've got here. The guys both know Luke as well, which helps. Andy and Gordon both know Luke, so yeah, really pleased that we got that done. It just worked really. It just feels like it's a good fit for us, a good fit for him, and I'm really looking forward to. It's his first loan, so again, like Danny, you know, it's going to be a step up, and we've got to expect peaks and troughs and ups and downs, but I'm confident he'll grow with us and improve, and he'll definitely add a lot of strength and depth to what we've got already.
And we would be looking to get him to work closely with Richard Keogh to kind of learn the ropes a bit more.
Yeah, I think he's, you know, obviously Warren will look up to him internationally and as a teammate now. So yeah, Keezy will be excellent for him. That's, you know, it's one of the biggest reasons. The biggest reason brought Richard in on the pitch, but off it he's going to be incredible for these guys, and Warren especially as a young guy to play next to him will be brilliant. But I think I heard George Williams talk about learning from him as well, and looking forward to playing next to him, and you know, so I think it's going to be really valuable for us. And I think if you'd be mad if you're Warren O'Hora or another defender coming in and not learning from someone like that, who's played at that level for so long. So yeah, it'll be great. I'm looking forward to getting some proper work into these guys when they. Warren obviously starts with us properly today on the training pitch. Poor lad came in on Friday and just had to play off the cuff 45 minutes, half an hour, when he'd already played for Brighton 2 days before. So he was knackered, but he done it and he done fine. So I'm looking forward to getting him on the training pitch and working properly with these guys and making sure they know exactly what's expected of them.
You touched on it briefly earlier, but played a game against Coventry Saturday, second half, lots of positives from there.
Yeah, I felt, even in the first half, being on there was loads of positives to take from that. I thought we controlled the game, we pressed really well. The goals were pathetic, really, but it's, I said before, we have to expect, we had a lot of young players playing, we have to expect these things to happen. It's not a normal circumstance for us to have that many young guys on the pitch at once, the guys with no first team experience at all. And they've done great during pre-season, they've done really well, but it was probably just a game too much for a lot of them after a tough fix in terms of the standard of what they're playing against, what they're used to. So that is what it was, but I was really pleased with it, and I said to the guys at half time, I felt we'd made them work hard enough in terms of trying to press the ball and chase the ball. The guys in the second half had a chance to go and dominate and try and enjoy themselves, and that's what they've done. I thought they were brilliant. There was loads of positives. We actually dominated in there. Rather than the first half, a lot of the play was in our half or the middle third, whereas in the second half we really camped in really in their half and played most of the game there, and that's why we had a few crosses coming in, a couple of shots from Sam. We looked really dangerous, I felt, and we had a little bit of everything, which was good. We dominated possession, but had a threat in behind with Sam, and Carlton was back to his best, holding the ball up, being strong, keeping us up there. So yeah, loads of positives, loads and loads of positives from the second half, and I think the guys went away feeling, and that's going to be more akin to what a League One game is going to be like. Not Norwich on Friday, that was tough. But Coventry were the best team in the league last season. They won the league, and they would have done regardless of what happened. They were the best team we played against. So I think it's a real good indicator for our guys that if they do exactly what's asked of them in the structure that's asked, with the intensity they do things at, we'll be really competitive, and I think that will give everyone a bit of encouragement going into the season.
Now, obviously, with the virus still going on, there's been a lot of uncertainty around football and sports in general this year. But the fixtures list came out on Friday. Competitive football's back in less than 2 weeks. It must now start to really feel real that things are getting kind of back on track. Yeah,
me and Luke were in the car this morning, looked at each other like 2 weeks to the first game. You know, gets you going. You know, that you start getting the butterflies in your stomach and all that, and looking forward to the excitement. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We've got a lot of work to do between now and then still. To make sure that we're right physically and tactically. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think the guys are as well. There's always, when you actually confirm where you're going to be, and everyone in football craves that structure and knowing what we're going to be doing and that routine. So I think the players were really excited once it comes out. It's a different feel once the fixtures comes out. It just makes it a little bit more real. So yeah, we're all looking forward to it now, and it's a tough start to the season in terms of how many fixtures there are. October, I think there's 7 league games, so there's a lot of games crammed in, but we just got to make sure we're ready and we're right, and continue to do the work and focus on the process, and the outcome will be positive for us if we keep doing it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.